the Apple computer. That's what we did yesterday. I sent that note, and I have something for you, but if you don't remind me later, I'm not going to remember to tell you what that thing was. I'm not even going to remember this conversation. Hey, how are you?
I would like to chat with you at some point today.
Sure.
You get out at 12:15ish,
Yeah.
and then do you leave right away, or?
No, I won't. Where are you going to be at?
Well, I'm gonna see if Darnell wants to go to lunch right now.
I was here.
Yeah.
I figured he'd be floating around too high to be here.
No, I mean, they want to keep those babies in there as long as possible.
Nice, right?
So he's hanging here.
Okay.
But, yeah, do you do lunch over there? Want us to wait?
Well, I hate for y'all to wait till 12:15. If y'all, whatever y'all do is fine, and I'll text and let y'all know and find where you are and.
Okay, sounds good. Thank
All
you.
right. All right, Zay, we're going to take some notes. So you're going to need something to do notes with. You can either write them, you can type them, whatever makes you happy, you know. But you're going to have some notes to just a few, because I don't do like a whole day's worth of page worth of notes most of the time. And because I think I told y'all yesterday, I'm not really into lecturing. And then there's a sign-in sheet. Don't forget. So as long as you sign in before you leave, good morning, good morning. As long as you sign in before you leave, you're fine. How's it going?
Good.
You are Miss Thornton? What do you go by, Miss Thornton?
Raising.
Raisha. Just like that, Raisha. Okay. Have you ever used Teams before, Microsoft Teams?
No.
All right. It's a communications app.
Mhm.
And kind of works kind of like Facebook, but like a big Facebook.
Mhm.
So we'll get you going, don't worry. It's just a lot of times where it's what I use to record the class. In case you miss one day, you can all access the recording. I'll send little things that I don't have time to go over in class. I'll send them in there, and you can just look at it and that kind of stuff. And I'll chat and I'll say, "Where are you? Why are you not in class?" That kind of stuff. All right. All right, Nuke. 10:59. I need you to be here at 10:59. It's 11. I need you at 10, so I can talk to you. Okay? 10:59, so we can be like ready to go, just like right out of the gate at 11. Because our goal is to be done early most days, right? So we want to get going early. All right, so we got Ty, and Ty's got the Mac deal with Teams that he's going to remind me about later. Then we got Lola. Yes, there's a whole pencils up there. No. You're going to need something to write with and something to write on. You got something to write on? We're going to do some notes. And if you got your computer or your phone, because you can type your notes if you'd rather do that too. All right. We got Kat over here. We got Gentry. Got Nuke. We all know Nuke's here. All right. We got, yes ma'am.
I can check myself.
Oh, you didn't know?
I didn't know.
You know it?
Pictures. You got pictures?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I didn't know.
All right. Mr. Richmond, what do you go by? Anthony. And then Zay, and then Razor. So we got everybody. Anybody? Okay. Small class. We talked about this yesterday, right, Nate? Nate, I'm getting it right. I'm saying it right. Okay. Small class. Everybody should pass. The only way you should not pass is if you kind of put up a block and don't let me help you. I do have students do that kind of stuff. And once you throw that block up and you block me out, then I'm going to stay away from you. Thank you, ma'am. Till you let me back in. And you're going to have to invite me back in. All right. You know how, like, people will freeze you out? You know what I'm talking about? Like, they'll freeze you out. And when they freeze you out, it's like, well, I guess you don't want me here, so I'm just going back on way on up over here till you. I will try to kind of push myself into your space as much as I can, but once I realize you don't want me there, and sometimes it's just that you don't need me there, and when I realize that, then I'll make those adjustments too, and I'll spend more time with people who need a lot of help, right? And the people who don't need a lot of help, I kind of I leave them alone, let them do their thing, and we'll all have different little relationships in here. But with a small class, nobody should be repeating. That's the goal. So we still got to work because I don't pass people unless they can make it to Comp 1. So just to repeat from yesterday, the first, like, I guess 7-8 weeks of this class is intermediate, and then we have an exam in March. You got to pass the exam to go to Comp 1, which will start like the very next week, right? There's more stuff I can tell you, but I don't want to just keep on and on and on. And then we'll talk about Teams. Anthony knows how to use Teams. He's already got it on his computer. He's got a Mac too. So maybe he knows something that we don't know about using Teams on the Mac. All right. So whenever you go to Canvas, the very top module has this kind of a general folder where I dump a bunch of stuff in there. So like if you're using a Mac computer and I learn something, I'll stick it in there, and just little things that you need to know. Some formatting things, some grammar guides, and that kind of stuff. We do have a tutor on campus, so we want to use that. My students get extra points for going to the tutor. It's like every time you go, I can't remember what it is. I don't want to lie and say it out loud right this minute. But anyway, all right. So today we got 3 assignments, Nate. 3 little assignments that I want to make you aware of. 2 of them we're going to try to turn in today. And if you're in Canvas, or when you get in Canvas, and you can open it now, you don't have to. It's not going to hurt you not to have it open. But your first thing you're going to do is take these notes. And if you're handwriting them, you're going to take a picture of them and turn them in right here. Make sure you label everything, put the date on there, like the pages, that's 1 through 6. That way everything matches up. That way, in case you turn the wrong thing into the wrong, or maybe you try to turn it in today and it doesn't go through, and you don't realize it for 2 weeks that it didn't go through, then you got to go back and find that thing that you didn't get turned in, right? So label it. Then we're going to do the plagiarism agreement. Not hard, it's a very short little assignment. And then I just want you to be aware of this quiz right here. Now, when I say quiz, I don't want you to get real serious about all nervous and anxious about that, okay? All the answers are in the book. You find the answers in the book and you just fill in the blank. It's really just like a thing to help you study is all it is. It's not trying, and if you spell something wrong and you submit it and you got a 95 or whatever and you wanted 100, you can reopen the quiz and go spell the word right and then get your 100. Okay? Quiz not there to penalize you. So we got 3 things to do. First thing, now this quiz though is based on what we're going to talk about today. I may open these other ones like earlier, like you see this 40 through 46 parts of speech is open. Anything that's open that you can click on and you can do if you want to work ahead. All right, so how to get the book. So in this very top module, you'll see there's a textbook right here, the Cengage Open Now book. When you click on it, you're going to see this. You can download it if you want to. It's a PDF. Yes, ma'am. Okay, no problem. Just I will go kind of fast, so you just back me up. It's in this very top module, and here's the link to the textbook right here. Is that what you wanting? Mm-hmm. And when you click on that link, it's going to open up and it's going to look like this. And you don't have to ever download it if you don't want to, but you can download it. And this free, it's nothing, you can do whatever you want with it after that. So you can download your textbook there, and that's where all the answers are to the scavenger hunt quizzes. And I got it even better, Nuke. I got it better. Watch this. The blue stuff, that's just me. That's for mine to remember what to really talk about when I'm talking in class. The yellow's got the answers in it. So you can scroll. In the quizzes, it'll say pages 1 through 6, like scavenger hunt. All the answers for that scavenger hunt's on pages 1 through 6. And they're in yellow. So, if you see a yellow thing that's got an answer in it, I mean, it's just filling in the blank. Just make sure you spell it right. Don't add spaces or anything like that. So that's how you get to your textbook. You can have the quiz open and the textbook open, right? And just be finding stuff. All right. So that's the first thing we're going to do is these little notes. And I'll tell you, you can write whatever you want to write. You can always write more, but I'll tell you exactly what to write or type or whatever it is you're doing. Okay, so in this class, you're going to do some reading, a little bit of reading, not a book or anything, and you're going to do some writing, and they are linked together. The better reader you are, definitely the better writer you are. And as you get better at writing, you'll get better at reading. One of the things you got to learn how to read, and that's not that like you're learning how to read, but one thing that you've got to kind of discipline yourself to read is the instructions. So write that down. Read instructions carefully. Write that down. Read instructions carefully. Like whenever you open up the pre-writing instructions, just scroll up and down. Don't even read first. So let's do that too. I'm just going to skim through pages 1 through 6 and see what all do we have to look at. So we got a bunch of text here. You see this blue and the highlights. Those are things that I've added. You see some bullet points. So we're not even reading. We're just kind of glancing through and skimming. You got some headers here. You got some bold text. Don't have a lot of graphics, which I kind of like the graphics and things. That's page 4. You see all the yellow. We know the answers are in the yellow. All right, and page 6. Okay, so we skimmed through. Mm-hmm. Is it 122? If you just keep going straight all the way down, and that's where psychology should be. But do you have a room number? Is it 122? I'm trying to see somebody right. Oh, I see. It's probably going to be 122 then. Okay. Probably got the room key or something. All right. So you're going to have all kind of assignments. So, Newt, I don't want you to approach every single assignment I give you like it's going to be some kind of essay. Some of it might be like, today, it's going to be a quick little assignment. I don't want you to have to get all serious about every single thing you write in here and sound like, let's see, what's Anthony's last? Richmond, Dr. Richmond. Just talk to me like Anthony to Miss P. Sometimes you don't have to be all formal about every little thing, okay? And you trying to use the big words and all that stuff. So one thing you got to do is interact with your text while you read. So what does that even mean? Well, when you're reading the instructions, for example, for an assignment, ask yourself, now, do I really understand what she's talking about? And if you really don't, then ask me. Ask questions. So reading instructions is part of what you've got to do, and make sure but the next step is making sure you understand the instructions and that you're willing to ask questions about those instructions. All right. So we skimmed through whatever we were looking at, and we glanced at the mini headings and the bullets and all that. So then when you're reading, look up difficult vocabulary. So write that part down. You don't have to write the whole thing, just this part. Look up difficult vocabulary while you're reading. That's any class. Even when you think you're pretty sure you know the meaning of a word, you don't have to look up every word in the whole passage, but sometimes just looking up 2 or 3 of the words and refreshing your memory of what the actual definition is of a word will help you understand the whole deal better. That could be biology, math, whatever it is. A lot of your ebooks will let you highlight and that kind of thing in it, and if you need help with that, I'm pretty good at figuring that out if you don't already know. When you download this book, you can highlight all in it and draw all over it, whatever you want to do. And I can show you how to do that as well. You don't want to over highlight, but sometimes if you got a little ADHD going on like I do sometimes, you get bored, you can color coding and writing little notes and writing questions will help you focus in on what you're actually trying to do. And definitely don't overdo it. Okay, so right here, write this down. This in the blue. Okay, so step 1, whenever you're kind of approaching a body of text, whether it's instructions or a story, an article, a chapter in your textbook or whatever, skim through it first and see what all it is you've got to take in. Look at the headings, look at the bold words, look at the italics, whatever. Look at the end of the chapter questions if that is pertinent. Look at graphics before you ever start reading. Then actually read it. As much of it as you can stand, Rachel, and whatever you can take. Sometimes we can't take but the first and last sentence and kind of skimming through the middle, but a little bit's better than nothing, right? As you read, write something. So if you know that I'm asking you to learn what a verb is, just for example, and you read about it, you didn't understand something, so you jotted a question down to ask me in class or text me on Teams, right? You wrote something about it. If you take it one step further and talk about it, even if it's talking in your own head, or recording it in your phone or talking to somebody who they ain't even listening to you, right? And you explain, this is what Miss P said a verb is, and this is how she defined it, and this is how you find it in a sentence. When you talk about it, you're learning it, but then you're also discovering what you don't know. And then that helps you own that information. You translate the ideas into your own words. You're going to do that today. Translate ideas into your own words if you'll write that down. Because if you can't re-explain it, Zay, you don't have that information. Okay? If you can't talk about it and explain it or ask a question about it, you don't own that information. Unfortunately, and I don't know why this happens, but a lot of times students will think that if they ask questions, I talked about this yesterday, that it makes them look like they're not smart. But actually, if you can't ask a question until you know something, because you don't even know the questions to ask if you don't know a little something. You don't know what you don't know yet. So translate the ideas into your own words, figure out what questions you need to ask, but then you got to be brave and actually ask the question. But you don't have to be brave with me, just ask the question. All right. You don't have anything to write here, but you can if you want to. So you're going to read critically too, and that's important just to survive in life is to read critically. Stay with me, Gentry. Stay with me. You can lean your head up against the wall. I just want to make sure you're with me. People try to put information out all the time, and some of these people have really bad motives for putting this information out. But if it sounds good, it's so easy to believe. You see these old folks like me, right, on Facebook all the time reading stuff, and if it sounds good, then they're going to believe it. So the propaganda, so the Republicans say that the Democrats are this, or the Democrats say that the Republicans are that, all this propaganda. They want to turn you against whatever you believe. Well, if it sounds intelligent, you might be more inclined to try to believe it. Now, when you're going for that job interview, that's a tool that you want in your favor. You may not know everything you need to know, but you want to sound like you know everything that you need to know. Because my grammar can be very casual and lazy and very country. So, but I can also speak very properly. You want to be able to shift between the two as you need to. Another reason, so you want to be able to tell when you're reading misinformation or disinformation, Nuke. Another thing is you want to be able to understand what you're reading, right? You want to be able to understand the instructions. One thing is to go slow. There's 1,000 things we would all rather be doing besides reading the instructions. So you got to force yourself to read those instructions and read them slowly. Spend the time with it. And make sure that you're understanding what you're reading, but then sometimes with instructions, you should be okay. You shouldn't have to ask this question. But then sometimes you got to go the next step and decide, do I believe what I'm reading, or do I agree with what I'm reading? How do I feel about it? What's my opinion about it? And a lot of times in here, probably 90% of the time, you're going to be writing what you believe and what you think about whatever the topic is. We already talked about all that stuff. So you can decide. So a lot of times we think we know what we feel about a certain subject. Should athletes get paid? College athletes, not athletes, but college. Should college athletes get paid? Should band, in that same idea, should like people who do other extracurriculars, like if you're a flag corps or band or choir, should you get more than what you're getting for the time that you're putting into that extracurricular activity? Should you get extra time to finish college and have to take fewer classes because you're putting so much time into your activity? And your answer might be yes or no, but then you got to back that up with why. And that's what writing helps you do. And sometimes when you may start out believing one thing, that being a vegetarian is not a good idea and it's not healthy. You start reading about it and writing about it, and then you realize, hey, being a vegetarian is actually pretty healthy. It's good for the environment and all these other things. And as a scholar, you're going to go into a topic with an open mind, be willing to read about it and either confirm what you believe or change your mind. So this is where you get the benefits of writing. It's not just about writing, it's about analyzing information. So write these 3 little blue things down. I've had people write about certain topics, personal topics that help them understand why they feel the way they feel about personal stuff. And I don't share your personal things. Sometimes I'll say, hey, can I read this out loud? And you'll say no, and that is always a fine answer. Sometimes you're just getting a grasp on why you think abortion is wrong or why you think abortion is okay. You never have to agree with me. Don't ever write for me. Don't write from the view or the position of, I wonder what she thinks. I don't want to make her mad. You're not going to do that. We can disagree. And just to make yourself become a better thinker, a fast thinker. Think on your feet. Answer that question. Do I have a comeback, right? Got to have a comeback. If I go too fast, tell me, I'll scroll back up. Another important, very important skill that you can have is to read each other, be willing to read each other's essays. You don't have to ever do that, but if y'all will switch up and read each other's essays, you will help each other so much, because Lola can see the errors in, hold on, Raja's paper. Raja can see the errors in Lola's papers, but they're going to be hiding from her, and they're going to be hiding from you. So it's hard to see your own errors, is it not, Gentry? It's very hard, where somebody else can jump right in and see them. Everybody in here, I guarantee you, just makes the same amount of or kind of errors. Don't be ashamed of your writing. Everybody's is different. And be willing to share. That's the end of those notes. You're going to take a picture of them, and you're going to submit them. You don't have to do it right now, but sometime today, submit them right there. Next thing we're going to do is look at this plagiarism agreement. And it's this assignment right here. And I already have it open. Sure wouldn't do that. Oh, that's not what I need at all. That's what I need. Okay. So normally, I don't take quite this much time. As the semester goes on and we build our foundation of the language so that we're both speaking the same language and you know how to find things, the class clips along a little bit faster. But we're going to start out just by going over these instructions. So it says, yes, sir. Mm-mm.
Thursdays is the 1 through 6, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. No problem. All right, so on the plagiarism agreement, it says read pages 36 and pages 221 to 222 in the handbook. You can download it, or if you just click on it, it should just open up so you can look at it. But you don't have to do that because we're about to do it. Now, you're going to see when we look at the plagiarism information that there's about 5 or 6 different ways to cheat and plagiarize or whatever. When you actually write the assignment, I don't need you to retell me all that stuff. You'll see in just a second. So like if I was going to tell you about stealing, if I was going to define stealing for you, I could say stealing is when you take something that doesn't belong to you away from somebody else. Like if you took $1 out of a cash register, or you stole somebody's wallet out of their pocket, or you took somebody's girlfriend. That's all stealing, right? But whenever you actually write this plagiarism assignment, I don't need you to list all that stuff for me. I just need you to condense it down to a definition in your own words that says something like stealing is taking something that doesn't belong to you. Of course, you can't use the word you. You'll see that in a second. Maybe you have done this assignment before, but you're not allowed to reuse assignments. That's also plagiarism. I know. There is an exception to that, though. If you make an arrangement with the teacher and you say, hey, I did this assignment last semester or yesterday, whatever, for Mr. Schumer, can I resubmit that same assignment? Then as long as we have an understanding between each other, you can resubmit it. The thing is, it's going to come back plagiarized. But we already made the agreement between each other that it was okay to do it, so it's going to be fine. It's not that you can never do it. It's that you need to let your teacher know and make sure that it's okay. All right? So in a Word document, this is going to be the actual assignment, Nuke. We're getting to the instructions, babe. In a Word document, so we're going to have to go next door, or you're going to use whatever you got on your computer. Now, I said Word document in my instructions, but I'm going to tell you, Google Docs is better. But you do what you want to do. You can use Word Online, whatever you've got that you're dealing with, or Google Docs, I don't care, as long as you can get to your assignment. Because I left it on my sister's computer in Oklahoma last week. It's not going to work for me. You've got to be able to get to your assignments whenever we need to pull them back up. Okay? That's all I ask. All right. Explain in your own words, so you don't have to quote anything. What plagiarism is, why you think it's wrong. 40 to 50 words. Whenever I give you a word count, and I always do, I always want the lower end rather than the higher end. I give you exactly how much I want to read, so I don't want 200 words, just 40 or 50, keep it short. Don't plagiarize the assignment. Every semester somebody plagiarizes this assignment, don't plagiarize it. It's just, but what, 3 sentences, maybe? All right. I'm about to take you over there in just a minute and show you what I mean. I love 14-point fonts and triple spacing, but I don't have to have it. If you prefer double and 12, it's okay. What font? I don't care, as long as it's not all caps and it's not one of those scripty fonts where it looks like cursive, just something I can read. And nothing weird like, there's some like elephant where it's like real big. You know, something that looks professional. All right. That thing keeps getting in my way. How do I make that go away? Okay. So I got my student handbook open right here. We're going to look at page 36. So the page numbers here don't always completely match up to the page numbers in the document, but we're looking for page 36. And I'll make this a little bit bigger. All right. So plagiarism. Plagiarism, basically copying, copy pasting from another source, cheating. I don't give tests in here. The only test I give is the essay exam. You can't cheat on that anyway because it's an essay. Getting somebody else to do your work. I busted this teacher from another school doing writing assignments for a student at this school. I will catch it. Okay. I can't help you fix your writing if it's not your writing. It's okay. Turn it in. We'll get it fixed. There's second chances in here for things. Small class. We should not be having problems with stuff. I know sometimes you're like, she's gonna think I'm not gonna think that. They're improperly using technology. There's an app online, and it's a synonym generator or something. You can stick a paragraph in it, it'll change the words. I'll catch that too. You're not gonna have to worry about doing this and then reusing assignments from other classes unless we talk about it first. Then it says 222. See how close that gets us. 221. All right. This is what happens if you plagiarize. The first offense is all the offenses get sent to the dean, but first you get a 0 for the assignment. Now, if you get a 0 on a major paper, that's probably going to fail you in the course. The second, you get withdrawn from the course, so if you do it twice. And third, you get dismissed from school. All right. So let's see what we're doing next. All right. So what I want you to do, we're going to go next door, or you can, if you want to sit over here, it's fine. I can just kind of bounce between the rooms, but I want you to open up your document that you're going to type in, whether it's Google Docs or Word Online or whatever. Put your MLA heading up here, give it a title, and then go look at that assignment. I'll put it back up here. Try a little big there. and I'll help you get your formatting right and all that. And as soon as you get it submitted, you're free to go. Let's go get that. That's your ticket out. Remember, I promised you I would put a ticket out up here. I'll be walking around looking at your grammar and your formatting and all that, but as soon as you get this submitted, you're free to go. It's 40 words. Don't get nuts on me. You're gonna have time to write essays. So, well, I'm gonna go ahead and end the meeting too. In the meetings, let's see, the lecture stuff will show up. Let me leave it first.